greetings, Rastafari, greetings, welcome to the island, and it is a pleasure.
It's pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. And just in case for anybody who doesn't know, this is Coach Mark. He has a program on Stars FM every Wednesday evening from 9:30 to 10, and it's power in half an hour, and it's licking. Okay, sir, today we want to slightly explore Coach Mark, the person.
Okay.
Now, my personal path, I've had some experience with coaching and at one time I thought maybe it was something I could do, but it was devoid of passion and absolutely devoid of inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, you brought that into my world.
Thank you.
Passion is important, but inspiration is really something. Now, can I ask you, do you consider yourself an inspiration to yourself?
Well, you know, the meaning of the word inspiration, to me, it means God within. So it's something, you know, it's something that comes out. So I think that God is inside all of us.
Yes.
So usually the things that you're inspired by are the seeds that God plants from within you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So, you know, yeah, I would hope I inspire myself sometimes, you know, at times, you know, because I think that kind of gives me the motivation to keep going and whatnot, you know. I think some people can motivate or inspire themselves or gets that inspiration from something within them, and some people get it externally, you know, and I would say it's a combination of both. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, because that really comes over. Your genuine, true belief in us comes over.
Thank you.
Yeah?
Thank you.
And it can't come over unless you believe in yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, you've already touched it, which I was aware of in you, but we'll touch it again. Spiritual philosophy. What does it actually mean to you? Because I understand you merge the two. And these are the passions that I wasn't getting in the coaching spaces that I went to, and I need these things.
Right.
Yeah. So you actually merge the two, and you live the two. You live the philosophy of coaching, but also the spiritual philosophy. So please explain to us what it means to you.
Okay, so, you know, even as a coach, now in the United States, you have a lot of people talking about they want to become life coaches and whatnot. And, you know, I don't really, the origin of the word coach, it's something that takes you from one place to another. You know, that's why you have like they call railway cars coaches. You know, because they take you from one destination to another. So that's kind of what I look at a coach as. It's someone that it's helping you get from where you're at to where you want to go. So essentially that's what so I don't really consider myself to be a life coach, because I think everybody has to figure out the life that they want to live. But what I have done is I go in and model success, right? Success in all different areas or fields, right? And everyone has a different definition of success. And to me, I just don't feel that we have to reinvent the wheel. So if you have someone, if you've encountered someone that has attained a certain level of success in their life, then 9 times out of 10 you can look at what it is that they're doing and then adopt some of the things that they're doing.
Yeah?
Absolutely. And then apply those to your life, and generally your life will become better. So that's kind of what I do.
Spiritual principles.
Right.
Thank you very much for that, because I'm going to move on from that in the same vein.
Okay.
In Jamaica, my experience, I'm not in isolation, but yeah, my experience is I'm in a setting where these people, and they're not alone, it's all over the world, but these people, as a generalization, genuinely feel someone owes them something. As a collective, also as individuals. And I'd like you to explain what happens to life's mirror, which is a spiritual discipline principle, to life's mirror when someone feels they're owed something. What does nature life reflect back to that person?
You know, that's a good question. And I think you're right, but I think that it's like that all over the place. And I think that what happens then is that you don't take the necessary actions that you need to take your life to the next level. So you're there almost kind of like a baby waiting for mom to give you some milk, you know, and you never ever end up growing up. And I think that that's the danger in that. So the way that I look at life is that, you know, at the end of the day, nobody owes me anything. You know, and you'll come across people in your life that will help you, but generally you'll come across people that will help you once they see you going out there and doing whatever it is that you need to do. People want to help people that are moving forward themselves. Right. So I, you know, as a rule, I you know, I get a lot of people that ask me for help and whatnot. All the time. But if I don't see you taking any sort of steps or doing something and you don't want it and you're not willing to work for it, because I had to work for it. Whatever level of success I've had in my life, I've had to work for, then I generally don't, because then, you know, it, like
you
you said,
rescue, basically. You
absolutely.
don't rescue.
Yeah, I assist.
Anymore.
Right.
Because you know, it's a journey.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes, beautiful. Now, when did you identify your, I would say, divineness, but other people would say vocation or career? When did you actually identify, see there, adesso mi hago?
You know, I think that life is just a continual journey. And I think that I'm always kind of developing the path where I need to go, you know? So I don't think that it's ever like one thing, like, okay, this is it. I think that as you go along, like, so for me, you know, and this is what a lot of people have to realize, is that through our trials and tribulations, that will generally be where we find what it is that we're called to do.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, I say this all the time. I can't tell you about Iraq if I've never been to Iraq before. You see what I'm saying? You can't tell me about Jamaica if you've never been to Jamaica before, right? You can tell me what you've read in a book and what you think it is, but that's it. So generally in life, we have to go through certain things. We have to experience certain things, and then from those experiences, we become a better person. I have somebody that been emailing me, that listens to found me on one of the radio stations I'm on, and it's been emailing me, and you know, and the tone in where they email me all the time is about how life, you know, I mean basically what the person sent an email, he said, like, you know, that they just can't be happy right now because life, they, you know, and they cited all these instances of why life isn't great right now, you know. And I just choose to look at things from a different perspective. You know, they cited they live in, I assume they live in America. They haven't told me where they, but I assume, yeah, it's America. I don't know where in America though. But they talked about the violence that's going on with the police and whatnot, right? And what I told them is that if you really look at it right now, it's probably less police violence against African Americans than any other time in the history of America. Because 50 years ago, the police could do whatever they, and there was nobody with smartphones to be able to capture it. So they did all of this and got away with it. You see what I'm saying? So even though, and I'm not justifying it or taking up for the police, but you know, but that's the perspective that I look at it from, you know? And I think that in life, you know, you can, it doesn't, you know, and I said, regardless of whether I'm right or wrong, my perspective, regardless of whether I'm right or wrong, the perspective that it makes me feel better, right? And I don't believe that it's that I'm put on this earth to feel bad about everything that's going on all the time. Yeah, you know, correct. So so I say that to say that, you know, because you're killing my
time. Sorry, we have to make adjustments due to timing. Now, brother, you already touched a point, but I wanted to get to it, but we're obviously in unison, so we're flowing nicely. What I wanted to say is now you're here, you're traveling internationally, you're talking in front of crowds, you're getting more and more notoriety and so forth. But what I see in front of me. Certainly when I saw your picture on the internet when we began corresponding,
Yes.
just seeing your picture without physically saying hello to you and introducing myself, I saw a brother who's paid for it. It didn't come, you know,
absolutely.
I see somebody who has paid for this. So what I want to ask is, please share 3 main points, thoughts, sensations, emotions, whatever, that you use when it really, really is just one of those days, months, weeks, periods, cycles where it really is just crashing. Every effort crashes mercilessly down around your ankles. Please share with us 3 processes you go to. Thoughts,
Some of the things that I do, you know, I'll just stop and just kind of breathe and meditate for a little bit.
Can I just, sorry, hold you. Stop. When the brain is racing and we're trying to rescue ourselves out of the sitting where our liquid.
Right.
That's interesting. Sorry, can you just slightly expand on stop? What do you mean when you say stop? Physically, mentally, emotionally? How do you stop?
Physically and mentally, all of those, physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Okay.
You know, there's some techniques, because right now, the thing that I primarily do is I work with athletes. So I train athletes on mental. I'm a mental trainer for athletes, you know. And I mean, I'm a mental trainer for all people,
Wow.
but for, you know, so to me, there's some certain things that we can do, because we all have kind of like what you said, like it, you know, the stuff just hits the fan sometimes. Everything just gets crazy in our life. And I think that that's going to happen to everybody. But the people that end up becoming successful are the people that are able to, okay, stop and bring themselves back to where it is that they're supposed to be.
Yes.
So it's like we get knocked on the ground, and you have to be able, and trust me, if you live long enough, you'll get knocked out on the ground again and again. And the people that end up really succeeding are the people that end up getting back up, you know. So oh no, go ahead.
Okay, point 2.
Yes.
After you stop, what do you do?
I just try to look at things. I just change the perspective of the way that I look at things. So there's another technique that I use with the athletes that I train called reframing. And we're able to go in and reframe the situation. Look at the situation from a different perspective. Right.
Interesting.
You know? So there's a lot of things that happen, and then you know, there's more than one way to look at it. You can look at, you know, you get a flat tire. So you're driving down the road and you get a flat tire. And you say, oh my God, I got a flat tire. I'm so mad because now I got to change my flyer. But my tire. But who's to say that flat tire didn't stop you from getting into an accident down the road? So I just changed to change my perspective on the way that I look at things. Right. Yes. Absolutely.
Point 3. System that you use.
Just remind myself that's life, you know. You know, and that's just life, you know. Life isn't going to always be perfect, you know, or what we consider to be perfect, but everything happens to help us to get better.
Beautiful.
You know, so when you have that perspective in life, then it doesn't bother you as much when things happen, you know, because you realize, okay, what's the lesson? What do I need to learn within this? How you doing? Yes. So those are the 3 things that
Those are the 3.
Yeah.
These you have not only, you've obviously explored them and they're suitable to your type of thinking.
Right.
But you've also disciplined yourself to incorporate them to such that it's automatic. Right. Now, can you share with us, because if you're going from point A to point B, you need to tool up people. There are tools that you need to tool up, and even no matter how well and fantastic a childhood you had and great influences and all this, life still have to lick you down. Its name is LIFE, that, you know?
Right.
So you chose to explore. You chose to challenge yourself, because you know we have a part of ourselves fling stuff out.
Right.
Because we like, you know, consistency
Right.
as opposed to challenges, because it's a comfort,
Right.
but we move ourselves. So the discipline aspect, because you don't just wake up and the thing happen.
Right.
Yeah?
Right.
You know,
Right.
you take a stance and you find yourself doing everything else but that particular stance. So please share discipline with us.
You know, just learning to build habits, you know, building the correct habits.
Nicely put.
And training yourself, you know, so starting off with something small and realize that if you can consistently do that small thing, then you can do more things, you know. So I just started with one small thing. So maybe it's to drink 1 cup of water every day, you know, if you don't drink any water at all. And then you get in the habit of doing that, and then you take it to 2 cups, you know, then 3 cups, and then you feed off of that success, and you notice that, hey, it's been a month. I've been drinking my water every single day, and it's been a month, and then you can do more and more things. So now there's probably about 6, 7, 8, 10 things that I do every single day, you know. So that helps me to stay where I'm at, to stay grounded, to stay level, and it helps me to bring more and more success into my life. So anybody that I train, first thing I do, we start with the basics, you know. I have them doing some basic things and just helping them to develop their habit, because like what you said earlier, it's all about consistency, you know. If you're not consistent in it, you'll never ever attain success in anything, because you're not sticking to it. You're doing it for a little bit, and then you stop. You can't get any results like that. So
and there's no there's no investment and inspiration from the self, so we're not gonna know it.
Right.
I'd like to continue, but I have to end.
Okay.
And what I'd like to say is thank you so much. You have no idea of the challenges and the situation I'm in, but you made sure that you connected with me. You kept your word, as we used to do in the community.
Right.
You kept your word for your own standard of integrity.
Thank you.
And it's a beautiful experience that you are rushing, you're busy, you're swamped, and you still have time for my passion.
Thank you.
So Rastafari, thank you.
My pleasure.
Can't wait for link again when such time.
Absolutely.
And enjoy what you have created.
Thank you so much.
Rastafari, thank you.